The RSI Mantis has been revealed finally. That was so irritating. The way the reveal was with the images, like first just a silhouette and then a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. Like, for God's sakes, just show us the damn ship. So they did finally. Let's take a look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Montoya. The RSI Mantis has been revealed to us, and as many people have correctly predicted, it is an interdiction ship, interdiction class being a new thing to Starcitizen, which has not existed before until now, and this ship will be game ready in 3.7, which is due very soon. So a couple of interesting things to point out. First of all, the reveal was done through Newsweek.com. This is an interesting strategy. I'm not familiar with Christopher Groux. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I'm butchering your name there. But they essentially gave him the scoop on the story. More on that later. First of all, let's go take a look at the Mantis, which is the reason why you are all here. So here we go. RSI Mantis in its glory. We see a red orb thing creating a bubble around it. Now there are two aspects to the quantum, I was going to say quantum entanglement. There's two aspects to the quantum interdiction. And let's get that in a second. So here's the second picture. Now this is kind of cool. This reminds me of a Star Trek type layout. I mean, look at the nacelles here. Very Star Trek-like. But look at this windscreen. Now, are those almost strutless? Are they? We can't tell until we're inside. But that cockpit looks pretty good for an RSI cockpit. I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the RSI cockpits. The Constellation and the Aurora, that's okay. But not my favorite cockpits in the game. So maybe they're gonna change it because that looks pretty good. Final picture here is the Mantis on a landing pad. Can I scroll up a bit? No, I'm stuck. Cool little ship. I was skeptical about the design from the silhouette, but I gotta say, it is actually growing on me. Now, a lot of people are already freaking out about this and the game mechanics, which are sure to ruin your day. The griefing, again, will ruin Starcitizen. But let's take a bit of a deeper look into that. So there's two aspects to consider here. They call it quantum enforcement. So there are two aspects. Now there's quantum snare and quantum dampening. Quantum snare is when you turn on this device and it's going to pull ships out of quantum. They said the range on that would be, let me confirm, between 10,000 and 20,000 meters. So 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers of a bubble, of a sphere, to trap ships moving through it. The other thing is the snare. Now the quantum snare is a much smaller radius, around 2,000 meters. Now these figures are not final yet, but let's explain what those are. Now I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I think you're fully capable of reading it yourself, and no doubt Board Gamer will be reading this to you if you want. Go see his video. Love you, Board. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially what this means is quantum dampening. You have a Mantis. What you do is you lie in wait between two popular destinations. You activate, a ship comes through, it gets trapped. Once a ship is in there, your buddies can go board it, disable it, destroy it, whatever you're doing. Depends on your gameplay. Are you a pirate? Are you just looking to steal ships? I don't know. Now, the other aspect was the quantum snare. So once you have stopped a ship out of quantum, that ship is going to burn out the bubble. Okay, that's Eve talk. Actually, that's a good example. Okay, let me talk about the snare first. What you want to do is stay within 2,000 meters, keep on this bubble, and that will stop the bigger ship from escaping into quantum by dampening on their field, essentially. So, okay, I guess EVE Online is a good example to talk about. Now, a lot of you have not played EVE, that's fine. Now, in EVE, this mechanic works well, because if you're traveling from point A to point B, and someone's put up a bubble, you fly into the center of that bubble, you are now trapped. Your options are to fight or to burn your way out. And once you've moved past the edge of the bubble, you can then continue your warp. I suspect this will probably be the same thing with this ship here, is that I don't think you'll be able to pop this bubble up and then simply keep on popping the bubble and stopping everything. It's most likely going to have to be, well, I'm just reading this now, most likely the same way that you run a scan, it charges up and it pops it, you have to catch the ship. And then once you've caught the ship, you have to dampen the quantum drive so it can't escape. That's how I see it happening. But don't worry about it, because if balance is going to hold true, what this ship is, the Mantis, is not going to have any kind of offensive weaponry. The weapons will be pretty small, and the shields will be small too. So if you're in a Mantis and you're behind a Caterpillar or a Starfarer and you're dampening the quantum drive, they can't escape. You're at risk because if that starfarer puts its turrets on you, you will die very fast. The idea is to slow down the ship long enough so your friends can attack it, board it, disable it, whatever you're trying to do. That is the balance I see happening in this game, and I like it for a few reasons. Now, for me personally, yes, this is a ship which I see being very useful. Just yesterday, I was playing around with Serious Punch, and we were in a bounty hunting mission, and our target kept on running away and jumped in quantum before we can get him. So having this kind of ship lay in wait and pop a bubble between his location and Port Olisar and trap him is the perfect mechanic for bounty hunters, for pirates, everyone else. But fret not if you're on the good side of the law, because you will now need friends. I know that kind of sucks, but you'll also need friends to travel with you and protect you. So if you have a big cargo run of laranite or diamonds or drugs, whatever it is, you will need 3 or 4 friends, either manning the turrets on your ship or flying escort fighter support for you to help fight off the Mantis and hopefully the support that he has too. So for as far as immersion gameplay goes, this is good. It is very good. And I'm looking forward to seeing this in the game. Flight Ready 3.7. Price we don't have yet. I'm going to say over 200. I don't know. We'll see. But let's end that topic there. But onto the first thing I mentioned, which was, excuse me, CIG giving the scoop to Newsweek. Now, this, for me, the story behind the story is interesting here. And that, as you all know, hate clicks drive traffic. You are more likely to go read an article if the article says, hey, that game you like, here are 10 things horribly wrong with it. You'll click that. But if you see an article saying, hey, the game you like is cool, you're not going to click that. So as we saw with the Forbes article, everyone knows about that one, and almost every single gaming journalist knows the system well. To get clicks, you need to bait with hate. Hate clicks drive traffic. So this is interesting for what happened with the Newsweek here and Christopher Grew, is that CIG basically said, hey, Newsweek, we'll give you the scoop on this. And if you notice the article, he's not talking anything about Starcitizen, the delays, and how horrible of a scam the game is. All he's talking about is here's the Mantis, it's a new ship, these are the mechanics behind it, and every single person, including me, who wanted to go see what the Mantis was about, had to go visit this page, giving them the clicks. They got clicks with 0 hate bait. It was simply an informative article. That is an interesting concept, and it's worked well for Newsweek, and I hope to see CIG expand upon that to other sites also, because I think it works. I think it's a great way to get coverage and also give journalists like Christopher here the clicks without having to bait the articles with the hate we're so used to. So let's wrap this up. I want you guys' opinions on this quantum dampening and quantum snare. Keep in mind that the numbers they gave us around 2,000 meters and also the 10,000 to 20,000 meters are the starting numbers we'll have in 3.7 to try it out. I suspect they'll make this much bigger, especially the snare part. I think the snare is going up to 5,000 to 8,000 meters at least. And I'm very interested in seeing this in the game. So give me your ideas for game mechanics you see coming out of this. As always, if you enjoy this content, give me a thumbs up, your comments below, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one.